Hello everyone, in this video I'll be covering the key features of the 12 new subclasses in Baldur's Gate 3's patch 8. Now unfortunately I did not get accepted into the patch 8 stress test as of yet. It seems like it's only PlayStation 5 and Xbox players at this time, and I unfortunately registered for PC. That was my bad, but I'll be covering all the different updates thanks to Reddit user Veni Vidi Vigo, who has posted all of these, and I'll be doing a breakdown, as you can actually play as a lot of these classes via mods right now, and I've done builds previously on a lot of these different subclasses, so I have an idea on how they work, and I'll be talking about the best implementation, how to make the most out of their kits. And as I hopefully get accepted to the patch, I will also be providing further updates and some builds on that. But the first one, this one I'm super excited about. This is the Shadow Magic Sorcerer, and you get yourself the Hound of Ill Omen, which is a homebrewed ability that they added in, so you can summon in the Hound at level 6. But with this, it has some really awesome spells. I'm a big fan of Darkness. It's extremely useful in this game. And we get the Eyes of the Darkness spell, or Eyes of Darkness, which gives you a darkness spell that you can actually see in. Previously, you'd have to have like the Shar Spear or the Steel Watcher helmet, or play as a warlock and take Devil's Sight to be able to see in darkness. But now we got it. It does use sorcery points, so that is something to keep in mind. But darkness is so useful to hide out in, and being able to see in it as a sorcerer without having to take a dip is just great. We also get the Strength of the Grave, which is very useful. If you reach 0 health points, instead of becoming, you regain 1 instead of becoming down. So this just gives you further survivability, which is awesome on sorcerer, because they're not super defensive, and any little bit of survivability helps. And again, the Hound of Ill Omen, summon forth a creature of darkness, uses 3 sorcery points, and it's a bonus action, so you can cast this in combat to bring in the goodest boy. I think this looks awesome. It kind of looks like it's burning, but hey, we'll take it. Also with Shadow Magic, you get superior dark vision up to 24 meters. And yeah, this looks awesome. The dog has his own bite attack, and he can enweb people, or he can bind them into their location. But this is awesome. Being able to play with a dog, I'm always a fan of that. Next is the very interesting Oath of the Crown Paladin. So this gives us the Divine Allegiance. So when an ally within 1.5 meters of you takes damage, you can use your reaction to magically substitute your own health for your allies and take the damage instead of them. So that's obviously very defensive minded. We also get the Champions Challenge, which is a bonus action. Challenge the enemies around you, compelling them to attack only you. Any attacks they might make against other targets have disadvantage. Hopefully this is going to be like a goading attack that actually works. It's hard to find actual, like, due to the mechanics of Baldur's Gate, it's tough to actually have something that will goad all enemies to attack you. But if they have disadvantage on attack rolls against other targets, that will likely make them target your character instead. This is also a bonus action, which is nice, but it does have a wisdom save, which is pretty common. There's also, I guess, Crusader's Mantle, which is normal. And also the Warden of Vitality. You can cast Restore Vitality as a bonus action. And the Aura of Courage, which are all basic things that the Paladin does get. So there probably is some more. Again, not accepted the patch 8 stress test, and I've looked everywhere for any more updates on this, but that's what we got so far. In addition, the Rangers, this is a cool one, the Swarm Keeper. It has the 3 different swarms you can pick between. So Cloud of Jellyfish, Flurry of Moths, and Legion of Bees. Keep Nicolas Cage away. So the Cloud of Jellyfish, this gives you jellyfish that once per round the swarm can assist you in 3 ways. It can deal additional lightning damage with an attack, it can shock the target, or it can teleport you to a safer location. The Flurry of Moths can do the psychic attack, or do psychic damage, blind your enemy, or also teleport you to a safe location. And then with the Swarm of Bees, they can do piercing damage, push the enemy away from you, and also teleport you. Then also you get the Prey Scent, and this is the icon for it. It looks cool, get the little bug there. With the Prey Scent, your swarm deals additional damage to creatures marked by your Hunter's Mark. So actually making Hunter's Mark very useful, which is awesome. And yeah, you get this little swarming color around you. And also the Writhing Tide. So you can condense part of your swarm into a focused mass that lifts you up, granting you flying speed of 3 meters and protecting you from surface effects. So that's pretty useful too. That's at level 7 there. So yeah, I'm excited. I really want to use the Cloud of Jellyfish, do a little extra lightning damage. I think that's super interesting. So yeah, the Swarm Keeper Ranger. Now the Cleric Death Domain. I've previously done a bunch of builds on this. I made a homebrew, or I guess my own version of this using base game classes. But you get the Divine Strike Necrotic, got a cool icon there. And what's also nice is you ignore resistances to necrotic damage. So that is nice. So being able to ignore any resistances means that the most common damage type that's resisted, necrotic, will actually be useful. You also can destroy undead, that's normal, but the Channel Divinity Touch of Death. So when you hit a creature with a melee attack, you can use your Channel Divinity to deal extra necrotic damage, which is awesome because, again, you can also then strike with the Necrotic Strike and then also ignore resistances to it, and also explode corpses, which is a cantrip, which is awesome. So in addition, we also got ourselves the Giant Barbarian. This is something that was previously added in a lot of different mods, and actually had 2 different mods from the mod manager that had this. Increases your carry capacity by a quarter. Meh. It also has the Giant's Rage. So in a rage, your rage damage bonus is doubled on throw attacks, gain resistance to physical damage, and advantage on strike checks and strength saving throws. Normal for the Barbarian, bonus action. But we also get the Elemental Cleaver. So you channel Primordial Might into your weapon. Until the end of your rage, your weapon will deal additional acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder damage and gain the thrown property. And when thrown, it'll immediately reappear in your hand, which is awesome because there's only so many throwing weapons in the game. This actually makes throwing builds even more viable than the Throw Zerker, which I think is great. So being able to use this, apply extra damage to your weapons, and then also be able to throw them and have it return your hand, massive. We also get the Boots of the Giant, or Boot of the Giant. So you try to kick your target away, depends on your athletic skill. Higher if you're hidden or invisible. You can shove a target that's heavier than what, I guess you can push a target that's heavier than what you normally would be able to shove. And you also get the Mighty Impel. For a creature that is medium-sized or smaller, heavier creatures will deal additional damage. So with the Giant Barbarian, you're incentivized to make yourself even larger and start throwing things around and just start raising heck, throwing everything you can see. It's cool. Being able to also get your weapon, add additional damage, and throw it is great too. Now, the Rogue. This is cool. So the Swashbuckler, you can see there, the little icon. It gets the fancy footwork, so you can do a melee attack, and then that target cannot hit you with an opportunity attack. So you can go bink, run away, and you're safe. Also, the Uncanny Dodge, evasion as per usual, but they also has Panache. So roll a persuasion check to beguile a humanoid who must contest it with an insight check. Enemies who fail gain Panache disadvantage. Others who fail become charmed. Does not work on beasts, constructs, elementals, monstrosities, plants, or the undead. And you also get the Dirty Tricks. There's 3 different ones here. So there's the Sand Toss. Throw a handful of sand at your target and possibly blind them. Gain advantage on your next attack. There's also the Vicious Mockery. So it does 1d4 of psychic damage. Insult a creature. It has disadvantage on its next attack roll, and you get advantage on your next attack roll. So similar to the Dirty Toss Sand. Flick of the wrist. Use this to use your weapon, bonus action as well, and you can disarm a target, dexterity save, and gain advantage on your next attack. So those 3, pretty effective. And there's also the Rakish Audacity, so you gain a +1 bonus to initiative rolls. This scales with your rogue level, so you're always going to be going first. Well, not always, but most times. You no longer need advantage to trigger sneak attack as long as you're within 1.5 meters of the target and don't have disadvantage. So Swashbuckler is interesting. This one's going to be a bit more offensive focused, but I still feel like the Rogue is lacking in terms of its damage output. Doesn't get the extra attack, which the Blade Singer Wizard does. So interesting. But next we got ourselves, these are all the different arrows from the Arcane Archer. I previously did a build guide for the Arcane Archer, and a lot of these other classes I've done builds on. But you get yourself like the Bursting Arrow, which does force damage and pushes targets 3 meters, or hits in at a 3-meter range. There's the Enfeebling Arrow, which does additional 2d6 necrotic and can make the target feeble if they don't do a con save. There's a Beguiling Arrow, which does psychic damage and must do a saving throw or become charmed. There's the Banishing Arrow, which can banish your target to the Feywild for 2 turns, charisma save, and Arcane Archer. All these require Arcane Archer charge. I believe that you only get 2 of them per short rest. There's also the Seeking Arrow, which acts almost like a magic missile, so it always hits the target. Possibly applies fairy fire as well. There's also the Shadow Arrow, which does psychic damage and can potentially blind the target, which is awesome. Grasping Arrow does poison damage and can stop the target from moving, or reduces their movement speed, and they take additional damage on that. And the Piercing Arrow, which hits in a straight line through targets, and you can deal additional piercing damage on that. So Arcane Archer is very interesting. We'll have to see how it all gets implemented, but this is, again, not fully final. They're still patch testing and stuff. But the Blade Singer Wizard, I think this is actually my favorite of the classes that they added. So the Blade Singer, training in War and Song, you gain proficiency in light armor, and in the performance skill, you get proficiency with daggers, sickles, short swords, rapier, scimitar, and long swords. Then there's also the Blade Song, which gives a +2 bonus to armor class, and your movement speed increases by 3 meters. You get advantage in acrobatics and +2 to Constitution saving throws. You also gain the Blade Song Climax and the ability to accumulate Blade Song charges in combat. As I mentioned, the Wizard also will get an extra attack level 6, making it actually pretty strong. And it can choose Booming Blade as a cantrip, so this becomes very, very powerful. This is an evocation cantrip. Strike your target with a weapon, deals initial thunder damage if they move. So there's going to be some crazy builds coming out around Booming Blade, I believe. We'll have to see. There's also the Bursting Sinew Necromancy cantrip, which does 3d10 piercing damage, exploding a corpse, causing it to impale those around it. So yeah, nice little bit of piercing damage, which means that is going to be boosted up if you're using if you use the ballast armor. So that's really cool. Also, the Song of Defense, take damage from your blades. When you take damage during your blade song, you can expend a spell slot to reduce 5 damage per spell slot. Very fun. I've actually done a build on the Blade Singer Wizard, and yeah, this makes it very, very useful. And there's the Bursting Sinew again. But yeah, you can see yourself on a ship there in a fight. Burning Booming Blade. Everything about this really cool. I'm excited for this one the most. And there's the Blade Song again. The extra attack. Again, this is just stuff from the Reddit user Veni Vigo here. And with this, there's also this really nice icon. I think they did a great job with these. So you can see the music notes in there. Also, we got ourselves the Hexblade Warlock, which is interesting for a dip. I don't know if this is very strong if you go all the way up with this, because some of the effects actually mirror Pact of the Blade. So at level 6, you get the Accursed Spectre. Whenever you are an ally with an 18-meter slay a creature that is affected with the Hexblade's curse, you can raise an Accursed Spectre that will fight alongside you for a short period of time. Unfortunately, this only has half your Warlock level health, so it's maximum 6 health, and it's only once per long rest, so that's not even that good. The Deep Impact, so it's normal for the Pact of the Blade. Armor of Hexes, so whenever a creature is cursed with Hexblade Curse attacks you, you possibly nullify the attack as a reaction. This is a 50% chance of succeeding. And then you also get medium armor proficiency and martial weapon proficiency and shield proficiency, so pretty cool. The Hexblade will also get the ability to use Charisma for your damage rolls just straight out level 1, so that's awesome as well. Making it actually a really good dip. It's not listed here, but that actually makes it a very good dip if you're just going to take, like, let's say you want to play a Paladin and you don't want to focus on strength. You can take this, make it your Charisma, your main damage roll and attack roll. Don't have to worry about anything else, so that's really good. We also got ourselves the Circle of the Stars, which actually gets a Dragon Breath-like attack, better than Dragonborns, which is funny. There's the Starry, you have 3 different Starry forms, the Chalice, Archer, and the Dragon, with the Archer giving you a bonus action Luminous Arrow cast that you can do, which does radiant damage. The Chalice, which gives you Chalice healing. Whenever you cast a healing spell, you get an extra one. And the Dragon, which whenever you make a saving throw to maintain concentration on a spell, a roller on 9 or lower is considered a 10. And as a bonus action on this form, you can use Dazzling Breath, which makes them even stronger, even better than Dragonborn's Dragon Breath, because you can use that per turn. Crazy. So the Twinkling Constellations, your Starry forms are improved, and Archer, this basically buffs up the damage of all your effects, and Dragon gets the ability to fly, which is cool. Movement speed of 6 meters. And whenever you long rest, you consult the stars for your Cosmic Omen, Wheel or Woe. The Omen grants you the ability to wheel or woe, attack rolls and saving throws, and ability checks for your allies. Really cool. I previously also did a build on the Circle of Stars, because this was on PC for a while. It's awesome. And then we also got ourselves, this is the Drunken Master Monk. So you get the Drunken Technique, doing your punching attacks, grant yourself additional 3 meters movement speed, and disengage. Intoxicating Strike, which can potentially make your target drunk. The Cheeky Tipple, so you're immune to the negative effects of being drunk, and once per day when you drink alcohol, you regain half your key points. Super cool. So it's actually legitimate role-playing aspects to this. You also get proficiency in performance. The Intoxicating Strike bonus action can also apply drunk to the target. Life of the party, every time Intoxicating Strike hits, the monk gains life of the party, which increases armor class and attack rolls against drunk targets, and this can stack. So yeah, I'm going to have a lot of fun with this one. I think this is cool. And the Redirect Attack, you can spend a key point to be able to redirect attack to another ally. Or if an attack misses, you can redirect it to another enemy, which is actually kind of crazy. So I think this is going to be a very chaos-focused one, and I'm all for it. Really excited to play it. Finally, we got the Bard, the College of Glamour, or Mantle of Majesty here. So you can command a creature to flee come closer, freeze or drop its weapon if they're charmed. So this is a bonus action similar to the command spell, which actually is very effective. Improved bardic inspiration, blah blah blah. That's usual. The College of Glamour, my bad. Mantle of Inspiration. Imbue 2 enemy allies with your vigor and grant them 5 temporary health. If they're hit with a melee attack, the attacker becomes charmed. So this is all about applying charms. Again, I don't think that this build will outpace how strong the Sword Bard is, but I'm all for having more Bard subclasses. So let me know which of these you're most excited for. I generally think that the Blade Singer Wizard is going to be the strongest here. It might actually be the strongest Wizard subclass. Not sure how I feel about the Hexblade Warlock. We'll have to see how that is fully implemented. It might be actually a bit weaker than some of the other ones. The Ranger gets a really cool one. The Monk gets a cool one. The Paladin gets an actual protection focused build, so that's cool as well. But let me know what you're most excited for. Hit the subscribe button below if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.